Oh my gosh, it's been a minute, friend.
I know, right? Like what? We sliding down.
I know his chair slides down, guys.
Why
so
you gotta tell them that? You gotta tell them that.
Yes.
You know that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
need to know.
I apologize.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Man, these limits go in. Yeah. Put me up. This is some straight vibes.
All right. Welcome back to Bar2Bar, where we bring bars from your favorite song to the bar and we discuss. Hey, Will.
What's up, Nicolette? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm in a great mood.
Yes.
I've been trapped in the house for several days.
Now you out, you free?
Yes. I mean, I've been out of the house, but I just haven't really had like friend interaction. My homegirl went on vacation. My other homegirl went back to her hometown. And when you work from home, you don't have coworkers. So it's a big difference from working nightlife to, working from home, which is a great segue for the song that I picked for today.
So what song did you pick for today, Miss?
Wait, did you tell me how you were doing?
Oh, I did.
Did you tell the viewers, how you've been feeling, what's been going on?
I'm going to tell y'all right now, I got this little slight cough, so please excuse me throughout this episode.
Do you really?
Slight cough. It won't go away. It's just a cough. I already went through the cold part, so don't look at me like that. Stop looking at me like that. Don't do it. Anyway.
William, you know that I literally thought to myself the other day, I was like, I made it through the winter, December, without catching a cold.
Right.
So
you're not going to catch one today. I told you I'm on the back end.
That doesn't, you could still be contagious.
I'm not contagious.
It's giving, where's your mask?
It's giving. How about we continue with the episode?
All right. All right. So today, guys, the song that I picked is Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield. And my notes are loading, so I'm just going to talk for a little bit, give you some facts that I remember. So I picked this song really because it's a fire song. It's very nostalgic. And basically, I just quit my job. And in nightlife, I just quit nightlife. I'm hoping it's forever. What?
We were sad to see her go. We definitely were.
But I had a great time. So I quit New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. Well, New Year's Eve was my last shift. Mm-hmm. So I quit before 2023. And yeah, you guys definitely made it worthwhile. Mm-hmm. I mean, now that I don't work there now, I can say I was drunk as fuck.
She was lit, y'all. I remember.
Rightfully so. Do you know how I have played by the rules there? Mm-hmm. I mean, I broke some rules, but still, there's nothing major. Nothing that the managers don't do. And owners. But yeah, like I was happy to leave. I was very happy to leave.
Trust me, I know you was. I could see it in your face at the end of the night. Even though you were slizzard, you were still in a good mood and you were still coherent.
Yeah, your chair is sliding. I can't take you serious with you sitting that low.
Look, man.
Will is all over the place today. His seat is going down. He ain't got no voice for real.
My seat won't stay up, and I'm not about to keep getting up. So we good. I'm gonna be shorter than you for right now.
No, I cannot stand it. It looks okay. I'm gonna come down.
You gonna come down?
To your level. I don't never come down to no nigga level.
That is so sweet. I appreciate that. It made me feel good inside. It made me feel all warm and fuzzily.
Okay, I'm a thug. Chill out.
Fuzzily.
Shots?
Yeah, let's take a shot. Hey, back on that bullshit. Yeah, you hear me?
Back up on my. It's a different song. I can't wait to do that one.
I was talking about a different song.
Oh.
About Drake and 21.
I was talking about Janae Aiko and her.
Why your shot shorter than mine?
Okay, because I got a show to get through, William. Cheers.
Oh my God. Here you go. Yo, it's another great episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, sir.
I've had hard liquor in a very long time. Not a very long time, but not how I used to consume it. So that actually felt pretty good. All right, guys. So let's check some ID. Mm-hmm. When do you think this song came out?
So this song was out throughout our childhood. I would say that for sure. To give an exact date, or I'm sorry, obviously not a date, but year. I want to say 2000.
The year 2000?
Year 2000.
And
No,
you 4 years off.
it was 2004.
Yeah.
What?
November 29th, 2004. Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't even move down to Georgia yet.
Oh yeah, because you moved down to Georgia in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you saying that in our previous episode.
Yes. So 2004. You know what I think of when I think of this song?
What?
Okay, so I couldn't have been Okay, so here's the thing.
Okay, let's go.
Moved down to Georgia.
All right.
What was I? I was a sophomore in high school. 2005. And I remember being one of the preppy black girls that used to watch like Laguna Beach. And then the spinoff, The Hills. What are you laughing at? Anyways, their spinoff, The Hills. This was the theme song. Mm-hmm. So when I think of this song, it takes me back to that era in my life where I was a preppy black girl.
So a little nostalgia.
I couldn't have been the only preppy black girl who was literally obsessed with the MTV show, The Hills, and obsessed with the Caucasian drama that we did not relate to in 2000. Whatever years.
No, you're not the only one. You're probably not the only one.
I know I'm not.
You actually, yeah, we know for a fact.
Let me know if my people are out there, the ex-preppy black girls in high school. Oh my gosh.
Even the hood ones used to watch those. I mean, you can be completely honest. Like, they used to watch those shows. They know it. They might not admit it, but they used to watch the
You talking about people who weren't preppy?
Yeah, they used to watch the Caucasian drama.
No, because when I got to college, that was like the show was about to end like in about a season or so. Mm-hmm. And I remember being in college, and I was in the lobby it was my freshman year, and I was in the lobby of our dorm, me and my homegirl. Mm-hmm. And we was watching it in the lobby,
right,
in the dorm lobby,
right,
because no one else was using the television. So we're like, oh my gosh, it comes on 8, whatever time it came on. Right. We were watching it, and then these girls that also lived there, they were cool, but they were like mocking us for watching it. And I remember like not even being fazed, kind of, because I was like, but this is a good ass show, so shut up. Right. But at the same time, I never watched it in the lobby ever again.
After that, you watched it in your room.
So absolutely. So also I don't think.
And what college wasn't it? Savannah State?
Yeah, it was at HBCU. So I also don't think they were really gonna let us watch that every week at primetime television. This is before streaming, guys. So
yeah, you should have been.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you tried.
Back then, if the BET Awards was on and The Hills was on, they wouldn't let me watch The Hills in the lobby.
You was not getting
back then.
Or nothing of that sort. Sorry.
All right, let's go ahead and continue into this. Really quick, a little tidbit. Do you remember the song "I Gotta Get Through This"? I gotta get through this. I gotta get through this. I gotta get through this. You remember that? That's her older brother.
What?
Daniel Bedingfield.
That is news to me.
Yeah, so he's a huge star in the UK. I don't know if he still is, but
that's crazy because that song would come on back then, obviously.
All the time.
You would sing along to that easily.
Yeah, he had other hits, but that was his biggest crossover one. Unless I don't know one that he sang, or like I know the song, but I don't know it's him.
Yeah.
That sort of deal.
Okay.
But he's the one that put her on. He was always like trying to put his sister on, and there was like issues with his label because they're like, "Dang, you're a big pop star. We don't know if we want your sister to be your predecessor or whatever." So.
Man, look out for the family.
But yeah. And they end up, letting her release her little songs. This wasn't her first song, though. I don't know what it was, but this wasn't her first song.
Okay.
This was the biggest song.
Yeah, definitely the biggest song, I would have to say.
It's so inspirational.
It is. I was listening to it. Like, I mean, I knew, the words of songs, but when you actually have to listen to it to discuss it, and you listen to it, it's like, wow, this is something that can definitely uplifts. You know what I mean?
For sure. Like, yeah, for sure. We'll get into all of it. Well, let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Let's do bar to bar. So,
Question for you, real quick, because with Check ID, we want
Oh,
to see
yeah.
if it can fit in any other time period. So, do you think? I personally do. I think it could fit in almost any time period because of what the song is talking about as far as being inspiring.
yeah.
Like, you could put it now. I think that song would be a hit right now if it came out right now.
No,
You don't think so?
no,
No?
no.
I think it would.
I think the message, like if you just think about the message, not the lyrics,
Right.
like the message
Mm-hmm.
is gonna work in any time period, right?
Yes.
But in this time period, it has to be even more raw and more honest. This is very, the lyrics in this song is very, it's surface level. We're not getting deep. It's like a thin line between cheese and, okay, this shit works.
So, with that being said, my question,
Mm-hmm.
well, not really a question, but like, with this generation nowadays and how sensitive the generation is, you don't think that this song would fit at all?
No, I mean, I don't think this song in this original format will fit. I think it'll fit if okay, for instance, and I didn't want to get too much into this part, but it's fine because it works. So this song resurfaced on TikTok recently, and it has a drill beat behind it.
Okay.
And I don't think anyone's really listening to the words. They're listening to the feeling of the song, but the song wouldn't have stood alone without that drill beat. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, in this generation, this beat can't win by itself.
I see what
You need to put something with it. And I don't even think anybody's listening to the words because, TikTokers, I don't think they really care about the words. It's more about, can we make a dance to this? Can it work?
Yes.
And that's what happened with the drill beat behind it. Okay. So that's my take on it. I see why you think that it would work, though, because it's like, who doesn't want to feel ambitious and inspired,
Yeah. I mean, also the song does give early 2000s vibe with the beat and how it is. So I definitely understand why you say that. You change the beat up, you add a little bit more to it, and then it would fit in 2023.
We love the beat because it's nostalgic.
Because
like
we heard it back then.
Yeah, and honestly, it was a thin line. If they didn't release it right then and there, it would have been done.
Yeah.
Nah, they wouldn't have made it. I think by 06 would have been over.
You're
over with. They probably had one more chance in 05, and then by 06,
By 06, okay, I hear that little Georgia side coming about you.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a Southern girl.
06.
I'm a peach.
06. That's what you said.
Fuck you talking about?
All right, man.
Super cringe.
Man. Let's go.
All right, so let's start with the first verse. So, I am unwritten, can't read my mind. I'm undefined. I'm just beginning. The pen's in my hand, ending unplanned. Also, for those of you who think I'm on my phone too much, sorry, but my notes are on my phone, and I need to give you a good produced show. Anyways, I had wrote that one down because, to be honest, that's a great way to describe how I feel right now, especially having quit my job. My main job, nightlife. For those who don't know, I'm doing video editing full time, so I'm not just out here not making money. But I just decided to go into media full time, praying that I don't have to go back to nightlife, hopefully. But yeah, it just feels good. It's kind of like the pen's in my hand and the ending is unplanned. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's self-explanatory, right? Like,
It definitely is. This song is definitely like straightforward.
But you want to know what's crazy. What? So I was, you'd be scrolling on YouTube and TikTok and stuff. So on YouTube, her name is Yvonne Orji. She was on Insecure. She was the best friend. She was Issa's best friend. She does stand-up comedy, and it's funny because she did a little bit, which I can say because it's all over the internet. It's not like I'm telling a joke that I saw personally at her show. It's all over the internet. She basically told the joke of where, like, Caucasians, white people love to be like, well, let's see. We'll just see. We'll see what happens, right? And that's kind of how I feel right now, right? But like, I didn't tell my parents or my mom really that I was quitting my job. I just kind of like did it. And then like when she happened to ask, I was like, oh yeah, I don't work nightlife anymore.
Yeah.
Because like I couldn't be like, well, let's just see what happens. Right. And because I come from immigrant parents, and that's, I mean, Yvonne was way funnier when she told it. I'm not a comedian, but I related to it, and it was funny watching her bit. But I mean, it really hits home. It's kind of like, coming from immigrant parents, you don't just be like, hey, I'm about to quit my job and go into media. Let's see what happens. Yeah. But like, that's pretty much how I feel. And for a second, when I explained it to my mom, her concern was, are you going to be able to make enough money, just doing video editing alone? And in my mind, like, I don't care about that. Because I'm happy. I know it sounds cheese, like do what your heart says, follow your heart, follow your dreams. But honestly, this is the first time that I've quit my a like more secure job, I guess, and not felt like anxious and worried. Like I literally feel like I'm good. I've also prepared myself, guys. I'm not out here with like no savings or nothing. But it's easy to feel anxious and scared when you don't have like a solid foundation of financial security incoming. You know what I'm saying? Look, financial income, secure income.
If anybody knows what you're talking about, it's me.
Really?
Let me tell you.
Okay.
For some people, for all the people that know me, that's watching, know I did 10 years in the military.
Yeah.
Got out the military.
Yeah.
In November 2021. So with that being said, I've been out for a little over a year. And did I have a plan? Yeah. Did the plan go through? No. You know what I mean? But still, it's just like you said, the financial stability, financial security.
Sorry.
I got you. Don't want you break a nail.
I can't break a nail. But continue.
There you go.
The financial security.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. Like I understand exactly what you mean because you just I'm taking a chance on myself.
Yeah.
You took a chance on yourself. And now we're out here trying to hustle and get ours by another means other than the one that we felt comfortable with.
Right.
That was comfort. Military for me was comfort. Nightlife for you was comfort.
Yeah.
But we putting that behind us because there's other things that we want to do. Military, don't get me wrong. I love everything about what it did for me. Things have changed. That's one of the reasons why I got out. But it's not about that. It's not about that. That's another story. But it's just the fact that you take that chance on yourself, you give yourself a chance, and you go out there, you pray, thank God, and you move forward and keep it going.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing.
If anybody works in nightlife, thank you too. If anybody works in nightlife, you know how comforting it is when you are in the business for some years. Because you know enough people to, even if you get fired from the job you're at, you know enough people in the industry that you could just be like, oh, well, my homeboy promotes here or my homegirl works here. I could just go see what they talking about over there, and I'm easily put on. Yeah. The easiest way to get put on in nightlife is knowing people. Yep. Just doing a cold, going into, or a cold interview, or you know what I mean, just on a whim, you don't know nobody. Yeah, you may. But if you may get the job,
then that's a big maybe.
It's a slim may. It's not a no. It's just a very slim may, and it just depends on also how desperate they need people too.
Right.
But honestly, if a place is popping and they making good money, you have to know somebody in that building, and your experience got to be real good. I mean, most of us lie about our experience, but still.
Either your experience is real good, or the recommendation that the person is recommending, whoever's recommending you, has to be
top tier.
Yeah, they got to be in there with whoever, so they're like, okay, we trust your
or
word.
Both of them,
we trust your word.
Good experience and good recommendation.
Yeah, definitely, or both.
So, with that being said, it took me a while to come to this decision. I always knew that by the end of the year, I wanted to be done with nightlife. But I just didn't know what I would be doing. And it's so crazy because one of my favorite quotes right now is what you're seeking is seeking you. Because in being able to do video editing full time right now, it was literally me seeking that, and it seeked me. Is it seek the word?
Yes.
Or it sucked me?
No, I would say seek, because I remember you telling me, honestly, because we talk, what I'm saying, all the time at work. And I remember you telling me that you had reached out to her about the video editing position. Didn't hear from her, and then out of nowhere, out of the blue,
when I considered like, okay, I need to get out of nightlife.
Right.
Like, this is not working for me. I really don't care to be in this building anymore.
Right.
I love my coworkers, but there's a lot of things about this business that I just don't want to deal with anymore, right?
Absolutely.
And that's me being PC because there's a lot of shit I could say, but so I remember driving home that a night from the bar, and I was like, I need to be in video editing, but I don't want to just do any video editing. I want to do something that has to do with like entertainment, maybe music, maybe YouTube or something of the nature. And that literally, like 2 days later, it fell in my lap. Like literally. I didn't press the issue. I wasn't desperate for it. I was like, I'm gonna, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. And I just kind of had my mind set on it, and it just kind of, the opportunity fell in my lap. Now, with we have to move on to the outline, but really quick, with opportunity, it's so crazy because, you've heard the term luck is just preparation meets opportunity. Yes. And that's basically, that situation sounds lucky, like, oh, you're so lucky that you thought about it, and then 2 days later, someone who of a really great caliber reached out to you, and you're all working together now. And basically, it was preparation. I have been video editing for fun, a hobby on my own with my own stuff since, I'll say since 2014 for real, but really like my interest sparked in 2009. Okay. 2009, and I used to use Windows Media Maker. Oh my! Is that what it's called? Windows Media Maker? I don't know. Excuse me. For all of y'all who remember what was on Windows, the video editing on Windows.
First off, we all know that if we tried to use Windows Media Maker right now, that would be so slow.
I actually, anything that was dated back then. I don't know if they still, I have a MacBook.
I know you got MacBook.
So I don't know what, Windows uses anymore. But that's when I started, and so that was the preparation, just a hobby that I loved, and I loved doing it. And then continued when I started working on my stuff. Right. And so now the opportunity comes, and I went and grabbed the opportunity because I had this under my belt. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So, Absolutely. It goes hand in hand.
That's inspiring. I hope it continues to grow for you.
I do. I want to, because I love video editing. Making it a job does kind of take some of the fun out of it sometimes. Because sometimes you sign up for different projects that you're like not really enthusiastic about. But it's okay. It's fine. I think because I'm getting started, I have to, not have to, but I'm just kind of like taking what I can get to fucking make money. Right. God damn it.
right now, yeah. But then when you get to that point where you can choose and pick which ones you want to take, because it's like you don't need to take everything that's thrown at you. It's like,
yeah, for sure.
You're gonna get there.
For sure.
She dope, y'all.
Thank you. So let's move on because I went on a tangent with just the first 4 bars.
Hey, it's okay. The first 4 bars, I mean, look, that's what we're here for.
I know. So, so there is a part where she says, drench your words. Hold on. Let me drench yourself in words unspoken. And when I read that at first, I just went past it. Then I said, wait a minute. Go back. Drench yourself in words unspoken. And so I was like, oh shit, yeah, like go where you've never gone before. Say what you've never said before. Do what you've never done before. Like, don't hurt yourself or nobody in the process. But because I just think about like a serial killer listening to this, and they like, what? Do what I never done. You right. I never done it before.
Look, I don't like my boss. So, whoa.
Or like for real, Don't hurt nobody or yourself in the process. But it's just That right there, not yesterday, the day. Well, I was listening to the song yesterday again, but when I originally did the outline, I was like, oh my gosh, like in 2004, who would have known that I would have had this huge like surge of energy just reading that line? I don't even remember that line.
Right.
I don't even remember that bar at all,
Not at all.
whatsoever. Sorry, y'all. I need to find a better way to have notes. What do you think we should do? Like have something propped? I got suggested or told to me that we should prop it up somewhere.
You could prop it, or you could just have it to where
Oh,
your
it
phone
doesn't.
close.
Oh, yeah.
My phone doesn't close unless I close it, just for the episode at least.
Okay, I'll do that one day.
We'll get it.
So basically, I was also watching. Okay, so with this song, there's a Vice. Vice does like a mini doc. First of all, Vice docs are the truth. They're so good. They make you think that they're telling you everything. Because I honestly don't believe documentaries tell you everything. They just kind of tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
Or I don't know.
You talking about the TV
Vice,
right?
yeah.
I like Vice.
I love their documentaries, but my theory, my own like conspiracy theory is like all documentaries don't give you like everything, you know? Yeah. So basically there's Vice does like these mini docs where it's called The Story Behind. Mm-hmm. And they have like the story behind Sean Paul's Get Busy, the story behind Because I Got High, Afro Man, the story behind Thong Song. That was a good one.
That was definitely
and then they have more. And then they have Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield. Mm-hmm. And I had watched it and I rewatched it again for the show again. And that's how I got the tidbit from I Gotta Get Through This. Her brother had.
Oh, that's how you found that out. Okay.
So I had watched that or whatever. So basically the song, like it's how it came about was, you know, she did struggle with it being, you know, too cheesy. I think a few times where she tried to do it in the past.
The song?
Yeah, like she had tried to like, hey, I have this song idea. They were like, it's too cheesy. Let's do something a little bit more sexy, a little bit more, you know, that can sell like a pop or regular pop song.
Sex sells, yes, we know. Yeah.
So it's I just want to throw that in there because the doc is really good and I think you guys should check it out. They're like mini docs. They're like 20 minutes. So it's not going to take much of your time.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? That song is on so many commercials.
Yeah.
So not you don't even have to take away the lyrics. Just the beat itself.
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy.
All right. So let's move on. Let's see. Okay, so I have to read the whole second verse because that's what I wrote on my notes. Read the whole second verse.
All right, do your thing.
All right, so the second verse goes, I break tradition. Sometimes my tries are outside the lines. We've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way. No. I love this because if you know me, anybody who's really, really close to me knows that making a mistake for me is a big deal.
She tries to be a perfectionist, y'all. Try to tell her.
And you know, I actually hate being a perfectionist.
But you try.
You know how like people are like, I'm a perfectionist. I have to da-da-da. I literally hate it because perfection to me means you're insecure about something. And I think for me personally is I'm insecure about the rejection that can come with it. Because I do have underlying abandonment issues. And that's part of some of my trauma in my past. But that's where the perfectionism comes from. Especially when I'm doing something that my name is attached to. So like this show or like with my music, like I know my engineer, shout out to Brad.
Shout out, Brad. I don't even know you, but shout out.
That's one of my really close friends, my male best friend, really. Okay. He's my, I sent a lot of my music to him to mix, and I'm super, super anal, and I know he hates me when when it's time for us to mix records. But it's just, I get so in my head about what it should sound like and how it should be because my name is attached to it, and my relationship with mistakes is not good. So, like, even sometimes editing the podcast, I'm like, oh, the lighting and you know, I have text
Yeah,
Will
yeah.
like, oh my God, I can't do this. The
I
lighting
can't
is so
tell you.
bad.
She was going crazy, and I know she be trying her hardest. And
Yeah.
she don't understand how much I appreciate her and everything she does.
Oh,
Because I'm
thanks.
still trying to learn how to do this editing stuff as well.
And he gonna learn because I'm not doing every episode.
You know, she's
Period.
like, I'm going to learn. I want to learn. But to piggyback off what she's talking about as far as like certain issues that go along with that verse, I too have had abandonment issues in my life. It was later on in my life.
Well, let me ask you. So, for me, I'll say this before you get into it because I do have a question written down. I think you're getting to it. Okay. So, really quick with me, like the reason why mistakes are such a big deal for me and like I can't stand making them is because growing up, I didn't see grown-ups make mistakes. Okay. Or if I did, they weren't like acknowledged.
Right.
So in my eyes, I didn't see mistakes. I just saw grown-ups having it all together. And I think that's a thing of being an immigrant child. Not just my parents, my aunts, my uncles, the whole tribe that took care of me, they all were immigrants. And, they don't discuss their issues with children. Which I understand, but there was, even as I got older, even if I would make a mistake, they would just be like, just brush it off. Yeah. It would be nothing of like a talk or this and that. And I don't blame them because I'm not saying, oh, they did wrong. That just might be how they were brought up. So I don't like blame them for not knowing how to handle it with me. They probably didn't even know that I needed that. Right. So it's totally fine. But that's why mistakes for me, like, because I didn't see it as a child from adults, I still have the notion in my mind that, as an adult, I have to not make mistakes. I should have it together. And that cuts really, really deep. I'm giving you the surface level of it, but we got to get through this episode, and I want Will to talk.
Wow, what she just said is so real. As an adult, you feel like you always got to have it together. You feel like you got to know what's coming up next. You feel like you got to know the next move, the next play. You got to know everything. I mean, shoot, we in our 30s.
Yeah.
And
early 30s.
Early 30s, to be
Don't
clear.
age me.
But, you feel like, you go through your 20s. By the time your 30s hit, you should be in your career, so on and so forth, right? I'm telling you right now, I am nowhere near my career. Hope to get there soon. Don't worry, it's going to happen. But, it is what it is. It's life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to keep rolling. That's it.
So you feel like you're nowhere near your career. What is your career?
So what I want to do with my life is I want to be in sports.
Yeah.
I want to get my degree, my bachelor's in business, my master's in sports marketing, and I want to be in sports. I want to do something in sports, whether it be sports analyst or coaching or agent or counselor or or something of that sort, or a general manager. Like, and it's gonna happen. I'm not gonna say I want to be. I'm going to be. You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen because I love sports. I love football, basketball, all that, but preferably football.
Yeah.
But it's gonna happen.
You know what I love about podcasting?
What?
I love that that's what you love too, because, and we've had this conversation about like, where do we want to go? Where do we want to branch off from this podcast? Yeah. And I definitely can see you doing another podcast that has to do with sports and is like almost like a coaching mentality. Let me tell you, Will is a really great teacher. He taught me how to play tonk, and like he explained. Not to say that's like it's a fucking rocket science to learn tonk, but like literally, we were at the bar, and I think I was working service bar, so the ticket machine kept going or whatever. Yeah. And the way he was able to explain me the whole game within like a minute, and like I learned and I beat him.
She did. She beat me twice.
I was like, wow, you're a really good, like, you know how to explain things very clearly, very well, and to the point, concise, boom, bow, let's go. You know what I mean? I'm not that way. I felt like when I was trying to teach you how to edit, I'm terrible at teaching. I'm a great learner. I can learn digest the information. I'm great at taking direction. But when it comes for me to like regurgitate back what I just learned or what I usually do, I'm like, this a lot. I mean,
you'll do it physically, but to speak it out, like I said, just like when she beat me in talk, she beat me twice. And then, these are the first 2 times that we played without me helping her. She beat me twice back to back. And I was like, all right.
I'm getting hot.
You need to chill out. Stop beating me, all right? Because you're not about to just be doing me like this.
Oh, you were a really good teacher. I was like, wow. It was like to the point. Let's go. Boom, bout, boom. And I was like, can I do? No, you can't do this, that, boom, bout. Let's go.
Sure enough.
And I beat him twice.
Yep.
So I think you're a really good teacher. So I think you having like a sports podcast of some sort, like branched off under the Bar2Bar media branch, like that would be fire.
Yeah, we can definitely see where that can
So I'm not gonna say you're far from or you're not on the course of your dream at all.
You know
I
what?
think this media part is gonna have a big part in your sports career. I think the media part's gonna be big for you.
Hey.
It's gonna be I'm not gonna say big. Well, yeah, big, but you know what I mean. Like I think it's a component.
Yes, agreed.
That's what I meant to say.
Agreed.
Nice.
She owned it.
All right, so let's go into the chorus really quick, and then we can move on. Only because, okay, so you know in the song when like the music drops and it sounds like a chorus, and they're like, what is it? Staring at the blank page before you open up the dirty window. Nothing's the words that you can never reach.
Hey,
I'm sticking so off key.
It's like a whole choir is behind that.
But guess what? It wasn't.
It wasn't a choir.
It was her best friend, and her sister.
That's it.
And they stacked the
It
vocals
sounds like a choir
because they wanted a choir. They wanted a choir. But they needed a choir right then and then because, you know, when you got sessions and you were small and you were new artist, like, dang, what you need a choir for? Shouty, just figure it out. So she called her homegirl. She called her sister. They came in. And if you watch the mini doc, you can hear them, like, laughing in the studio. Like, oh, my gosh, let's do it like this. Da, da, da. And, like, you can tell, like, it's just them three. Now, if there was a choir... And they didn't want to tell us that because it's a documentary, so they got to make us feel like, oh my God, really?
She did that?
I wouldn't be surprised because, you know, like I said, my conspiracy theory is that documentaries don't tell you everything that you need to hear.
Right.
Or they don't,
or did you need to
or
know?
they fabricate it to make it seem like, oh my God, it was just them three.
them.
But it might have been. We're just going to go with that story.
Yeah, we're going to go with that.
It was,
that's fine.
Yeah, it was three of them. And they just kept stacking it to make it sound like a chorus.
I've always thought with that song that it was a chorus.
Yeah.
And that they was just behind her and she was just going crazy and they was going crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just like in my mind, I envision like a ray of sun, a big, like starts small and it gets bigger.
Do you see how cheese it gets?
Right.
That's cheese.
But yeah, that's what I envision, a sun and it just gets bigger and bigger and it shines on her and then it shines on the whole choir.
Yeah.
And then doves and
and it gets cheese. That's why that would never work in 2023.
I see what you mean by that
because there is not one single that's popping that's cheese.
It's too simple. It's too simple.
It's not simple. It's too cheese.
Cheesy?
Because you have simple. You know what simple is? Coyle Ray. And she said that she's only doing simple songs because that's how she get hit records. She said the less words you use, the bigger your record is.
Less words.
If you
think about it. Less words with a good beat.
Exactly.
Hook, chorus, you're good.
If you listen to any Coyle Ray song,
a few ad-libs.
It's simple as go best friend. We killing them. No new friends. Get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, if you listen to her songs, that's her formula. She said it verbatim from her mouth. I'm not putting a lot of words in my records. We're doing the bare minimum. That's how I stay on top. That's how I make my money.
I will tell you this.
I'm not gonna knock her hustle.
When that bass drop in that song though, in the whip.
Exactly.
Doom,
you get a good bass.
Doom,
You get minimal lyrics that are still relatable.
Mm-hmm.
That song is very relatable.
It
Even
is.
though it's been done before. We've heard no new friends and this, that, and the third. But it's a best friends record. Yeah. So it's like, that's going to work. Yeah. Everybody has a best friend.
Yeah, best friend by Young Thug. Hey, free Young Thug.
Yeah. Wait, what?
I had to put that in there. Free Young
It's me
Thug.
saying, yeah. Wait, what?
Wait, what? Yeah, Free Young Thug.
Where did Free Young Thug come from? That's your
Oh,
best friend?
'cause
Oh,
best
that's my
friend.
best friend. That's my best friend. Go best friend.
Yeah.
I feel you. I feel you.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Free Thug.
Because I was like, what, bitch? We are from Unwritten to Colorado Young Thug. What?
How? Yeah,
But yeah, I was reading singing the chorus because that is the chorus is great on its own, but like when it sounds like it's a choir, it's just like, oh shit.
Yeah,
And the thing, it crescendos, it gets higher and higher, and the pitch changes.
You just start to feel like
Release your inhibition. Super off key. That's not how I sing, y'all. Don't think.
She sings way better than that. I can't sing. I'm the one that can't sing.
Can you really? You probably could hit a note or two if you tried.
Not right now.
All right, so let's take a shot before we get into our story to purchaser because I think we're gonna need one. Again, guys, if you are drinking with us, make sure you drink responsibly.
Please.
Do not drink and drive, any of the sort. We got life to live. We got things to do on Wednesday. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you got this podcast to listen to on Wednesday first and foremost. So chill out.
Let's get it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I almost spilled that on me. Alcohol abuse, y'all.
We don't waste no liquor.
We don't. Okay, so straight up or chaser. So now that given the backstory that we've said,
Right.
what is your biggest L thus far? Biggest L, biggest fail. I had put what's your biggest fail at first, but then I was like, what's a fail?
Right.
So then I was like, biggest loss, biggest L. So I'll let you just pick. I don't know if there's a difference. You guys can let us know in the comments below. Is there a difference between a loss and a fail, or an L and a fail? Is it the same thing?
So for me, I'll say this for me. Let's go back to the military for me.
Okay.
While I was in the Navy, first and foremost. While I was in, there were certain things that took place that kept me from picking up rank. Excuse me. And I look at that as, it was a loss and a lesson at the same time. If I picked up that rank, I would still be in the military right now. I wouldn't have dreads, I wouldn't have no beard, like so on and so forth. Like it wouldn't happen. But I lost out on money and so on, and it's okay though because I'm here right now.
But we want to hear the fail. What was the
Oh,
fail?
the fail. So the
I think you're trying to redeem yourself before you admit it.
Yeah. So the fail wasn't necessarily on my end that I did anything wrong. The fail was on somebody else's end, and the fail was, it was somebody else's job to make sure that I had the best opportunity to pick up this rank, and they didn't do their job. So I had re-signed a contract to stay in the military. However, I shouldn't have re-signed that contract, and I should have been what's called for some people, I should have been extended. And what I mean by that is I should have been able to not re-sign the contract yet, but go to the school that I needed to go to get to for this military job. And after I go to the school and finish that school, then re-sign. Now, had that happened correctly, I would have then been able to pick up rank just from finishing the school.
Wait, but so how is that your biggest fail if you're saying that's someone else's?
Because the biggest fail for me for that is I would have still been there. I would have still been in the military, and it's a fail. I feel like on my end because I didn't double check that.
But I thought you didn't like being in the military.
I did like at the time. I did like being in the military.
At that certain time.
At that certain time, I did like. That's why I wanted to resign. That's why I wanted to stay in. I love the
So
military.
you think your biggest fail is not double checking
and
your work,
asking not my work, their work, asking the questions, the proper questions. And that's another thing that you got to ask the right questions.
Yeah.
I just let it go. I didn't go in and be like, okay, why did I have to do this right now? Why did I have to do this? Why couldn't I wait to do this?
So do you have regrets?
Of that, yes. That not necessarily regrets, but it's just like one of those things where I wish I would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not a regret because I'm here right now and I love where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
But it's just I wish I would have asked that question. I wish I would have stood up for myself at that point in time.
Wish I would have is a great term. Not necessarily a great term, but I'm saying it's a significant term because wish I would have is that regret.
I guess you can say it's a regret thing. Yeah, if that's the case, yeah.
Wish
you're right.
I would have.
Yeah, you're right.
That means I regret, right?
Yeah, you're right.
And it's not to shame you or anything or make you feel bad for anything. I can tell you what I think my biggest fail is thus far. If I'm gonna get real, so most people know me as an artist. Some people don't. It's fine. I ain't popping for real. But there are people who know me as Tracy Nicolette. That's what I used to go by. Right now I'm switching it. I've switched it over to Nicolette. And so in 2014, I released my first EP as Tracy Nicolette. The EP was solid. It's really good. It's still on all streaming platforms. It's called Dark Thrills.
Hold on. Make sure y'all check that out.
Thank you. It's called Dark Thrills on all streaming platforms. And in 2014, I again took that leap of faith, quit my job, and just went into music full force. I was trying to do retail and be a songwriter. I wasn't getting the results I wanted, so I stopped doing retail. Went full for the songs that I written and I couldn't place with other singers. I just kept for myself. I hit up the producer like, hey, is it okay if I keep this and a third? Boom, Dark Thrills was born, right? And then for me, the thing that, and I can't believe I'm admitting it this early in the pod. I didn't think it was going to be this early, but my biggest fail was not following through on the success of Tracy Nicolette. So when I dropped the EP, my shit didn't get crazy. Like, oh my God, everybody loves you. Da, da, da. It wasn't because clearly people would know who I am. But there are people who do, and it's crazy because I kind of dropped the ball with that one because I became afraid of myself. I became afraid of the success. Things were moving, and I didn't know how they were moving. So this was the end of the blog era, 2014. I dropped the EP, and I knew that I was working for a blog. I was interning for a blog. Fun fact, I'm not going to say his name, but our manager that smokes hookah every night, I used to intern for him.
Really?
I used to intern for him when a DJ, a well-known DJ.
What?
For Street 94.5.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's how I know him or whatever. But that's the backstory.
Wow.
I don't want to say any names,
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing. I just don't want to say any names on the pod. But so I was working for his blog site, and so I knew that, people looked at that one, but I didn't, it wasn't like a huge blog site that everybody, it wasn't like Shade Room status. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like everybody was going to that blog site to see what was popping. Right. But it was, I presume that it was pretty good and pretty, out there or whatever. It was a notable DJ who's worked with your favorite artists or whatever.
Right.
From Nicki Minaj, Gucci, such, a whole bunch of people.
Yep. Definitely.
So going back to the fail. So I released it in 2014. I just didn't understand how things were getting out because even though I worked for that blog site, so many other blog sites were picking up my EP, a lot. And I can show you all of them on my computer or whatever. But it was at one point in time, you can Google my name, Tracy Nicolette, and it was nothing but blog sites talking about my EP. Yeah. And then I remember being on internet radios and I was in the countdown randomly. Twitter was going crazy. One time I did a show and my homeboy was leaving my show And I'm talking about a small show, like where, like, you know, those artist showcases that have no rehearsal. It's somewhere in Atlanta, and it's mostly a whole bunch of trap artists with like one or two R&B artists.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like I had a show. I'm talking about one of them rinky dink,
Everybody trying to be a rapper.
right, showcases. But you know, I was taking the opportunities I could get at the time.
Right.
And my homeboy left that show and he got in his Uber and the Uber driver was playing my record. And he was like, oh, you know Tracy too? And because that's what I went by. It's Nicolette now, guys. But you know Tracy Nicolette too? And he was like, no, I don't know her, but I love this record. He was playing it off SoundCloud at the time. It wasn't on streaming yet, I don't think. He was playing it off SoundCloud. And he was like, oh, that's my homegirl. Like, I just left her show. She just performed that record. That's my favorite song that she performed. Like, he just randomly, like, that happened. You know what I mean? And then another time, fast forward to, like, a few years later after 2014, maybe, like, 2017 or so, my best friend Brad again, my male best friend Brad, he was mixing a song called Sugar Honey Iced Tea for me. And the girl he was talking to at the time, his main girl, was like, look, I ain't trying to put Brad business all out there. First of all, first and foremost, okay? I'm just going to say his main girl, okay?
We're gonna let it go.
His main girl came into his house one day and he was mixing my record. He was out, and he basically told her, yeah, I'm mixing this record for my homegirl, Tracy Nicolette, da-da-da. And she was like, Dark Thrills, Tracy Nicolette? Like, she knew who I was. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying, like, I'm not, like, out here in these streets, like, people know me, like, ooh, I'm Beyonce. But, you know, a bitch not even Keisha Cole. But I'm just saying, like, there are certain people who knew Dark Thrills and knew my records or whatever. And then also doing covers over the years of, like, songs on YouTube. You can find that on the Tracy Nicolette channel on YouTube.
Make sure y'all check that out. I'm sorry. Make sure y'all check that out. So,
Poor Will, your poor voice.
it's okay. No. We gonna. I'm gonna clear my throat. Make sure y'all check her out. She's
But
the real deal.
I feel like I keep going on a tangent. First of all, when I drink, I talk a lot. So it's okay because I have a podcast and that's what this is for. Yep. But I say all that to say, even though I'm not known, there are people who know me. And I feel like my biggest fail was not following through because I got afraid of like the success. I didn't know what to do after. Like I was like, okay, I remember being so excited, like, ooh, I'm gonna put this EP out. Yeah. They don't wanna place my records. Fine, I'm gonna put it out myself. And just feeling like amped up, right? Yeah. Staring at the blank page before you open up the dirty window. It's just illuminate the ways that you cannot find reaching. There's something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibition.
Rain on your skin.
No one else can live it for you.
Okay. So my question for you, I have a question real quick.
But that's how I was feeling in 2014. That's why I released the EP. But then I got afraid of myself. Yeah. And I couldn't handle it, and I fumbled the ball.
So my question for you.
And got sucked into nightlife.
Do you think that was self-sabotage?
Absolutely. A whole 1,000%.
Man, you know, it's crazy because a lot of people fall victim to self-sabotage.
Yeah, I did.
Success is really right there. All you gotta do is walk through that door.
And it's so funny.
And you shut it on yourself.
It's so crazy because for the longest time I did not understand that. So here's another tidbit. So when I got into my first nightlife job, I was working at a spot called BQE in Atlanta on Edgewood, and the DJs and stuff used to play my records. Once upon a time, the DJ played my record that night, and it was a lady at my what you call it?
At your bar?
I wasn't bartending then. I was a waitress.
Oh.
It was a lady at my section on one of my tables, and she was like, I love this song, that's you, because they would play the video on the TV screens.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, oh my God, that's you, da-da-da-da. Like, she was so excited. It was so cool for her. And she was like, you're right there, just step into it. And I remember hearing her saying that, and you know, when they're telling that to you, you're like, yes, I'm going to da-da-da-da. Yeah. Honestly, I remember this. I did not understand what that meant. Because I'm like, you're telling me to walk in, but where? Where do I walk? Where's the door? It felt like, you know what it felt like? It felt like I can hear it, I can feel it, and like my eyes are closed and they're telling me like, the door is right there, just grab it. I'm like, where's the door? Hold on, what? It's dark. My eyes are closed. It's dark in here. I can't see. That's how it felt.
Yeah, I know.
And I remember that feeling because it wasn't the first time I experienced that feeling.
It's like a dream. You know how in dreams you try to do stuff in your dreams, but like say you fighting somebody, no one will let you punch that person the right way.
For me, it's running. I can never run
you
in
never
my dream.
So it's like a dream where you try to open that door and you can never just twist. You can't. You the doorknob is right there. You can't grab the doorknob and twist it, or you can grab the doorknob but you can't twist it. It's just right there.
I felt like I couldn't even grab the doorknob. I'm pretty sure my hand was on the doorknob, right?
I know for a fact your hand.
And everybody was like, just twist, just twist, just twist. But for me, in my mind, I was like, where's the doorknob? Even though my hand is on it. Because you got to think about it. I'm literally doing all the things I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. I'm releasing on social media. I'm putting out EPs. I'm putting out music. I'm connecting. I'm responding to comments, this, that, and the third. So my hand is on the doorknob. I just could not. I just didn't believe my hand was on the doorknob. Like I felt that was the self-sabotage. My mind was like, there's no way your hand is really, I mean, yeah, you did all this work, but is your hand really on the doorknob? It's not. Like, do they really know you, bitch? Like, okay, it was just one person in the Uber drive that knew who you were. Like, fuck, do they really? Okay, fine. Your best friend girl, you know, kind of know who you are, but who else know who you are?
Who really know
your friends love your music, but bitch, nobody listening to that shit. And it's crazy because my numbers on SoundCloud go crazy.
And you told yourself that, and you drove yourself away from what your dream was and what could have been.
That is my biggest L, and I'm confessing it because I've kind of made peace with it thus far. Outside of 2014 with the EP, the podcast, Bar2Bar has been the only thing that I've ever felt remotely close to what I felt in 2014 with releasing the EP and people being excited and this and the third for me. So now
though, right?
No, it's not, because now I feel like I remember this feeling. And now I'm excited. I'm ready. I have a team, even though it's just you and me.
We the team for right now. Don't worry.
You know, and shout out to my best friend T-Dub. She was my team back then, and she still does go crazy hard for me and, you know, my ambitions. T-Dub.
T-Dub?
Yeah.
Hey, shout out T-Dub. I don't even know you, but shout you out. Though.
Yeah, she lives in
Real
Savannah.
talk.
That's why you never met her. She's 4 hours away.
Hey, T-Dub, shout you out, though. Real talk.
Yes,
though.
and she's a mom again. She just had her baby, so congratulations to my bestie. But she's always been there right by my side. We met in college. She is fucking amazing. So she was my team at the time. It was me, her, and Brad for a long time.
Man, shout out to the team.
And you know, I was young and I was just I couldn't. You know, when you want something so much and like so bad, but you just can't believe that, wait, it's happening now? Like, wait. And it didn't feel like it was hard. Like, people tell you, like, you got to go through the mud and da-da-da-da. I didn't go through anybody's mud, bro.
you had what most people want. You had the straight shot.
I kind of did. Kind of. Not it could have led to a straighter shot.
Kind of. Not fully.
But I fumbled it before it could go any further.
People that got to go around this.
Yeah.
Then go all the way back this way. Then
And that was the thing. I felt like I didn't go through mud, y'all. Like, the stories you hear, people, I lived in my car, I was homeless, da-da-da. No, I wasn't rich. Yeah, I went broke. I wasn't working. I released my EP, but then I got a new job, and I was like, I didn't go through mud. You know, if I was broke, it was for like 30 days. Okay? Nothing more.
That's why you have a savings for. So you
I blew through the savings. When I had quit my job, I had savings. I blew through it, and then, or whatever. But for 30 days, I was broke probably. And then, because you got to think about it, when I remember going broke, and then my old professor from college, Professor Poole, he had hit me. He was like, yo, we going on tour. We doing this theater play. I went to school for theater, visual and performing arts major, college grad. And he hit me up and he was like, yo, we need you, da-da-da-da. Can you fill the position of the leading role in this play? We going on tour. I went on tour. No, we weren't getting paid, but we got per diem, and I was straight. Like, I didn't have to worry about food or shelter or water or nothing. Like, you know what I mean?
Everything
Like,
was covered.
everything was covered. So then after that tour, it was a short tour. After that tour, that I was probably broke for like 20 to 30 days.
Right.
And then I got a fucking job. So my thing was like, I didn't have to go through nobody's mud. So I was like, this shit is happening too easy, too quick, too fast. Like, this don't feel right.
Which is why it felt, it's like one of those things that felt too right.
It felt undeserving because you hear the stories like, you know, I was I love to watch like documentary. You know, I'm still a dog bitch, but I used to love watching documentaries of like J-Lo, and she like her mama kicked her out and she left the house and she was living on the streets and shit, and then she was on the six, and then she would eat a pizza a day because that's all she could afford. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard on Behind the Music. Yeah. And then, you know, you have others, you know, crazy, you know, rags to riches stories. And so I'm thinking like, that's how it's supposed to be for me. Yeah. And it was just too much of a straight shot. And so I was like, and then MTV called me. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But in 2016, MTV fucking knocked on my goddamn door. I didn't make the cut for the reality show they were pitching, which did get pitched, and that's gonna be a story for another day. So stay tuned. We can't give you everything in this episode.
Y'all did get a lot.
You did. You got a lot of my backstory confession, but the fact that MTV and then they flew me out to LA and like. It was out of. I don't think you even know that. You don't know that, but it's so like, bro. I had a straight fucking shot, and it was just like, what is fucking happening right now? Like, this can't be it. So I kind of sabotaged everything mentally. I took all the opportunities. I did everything, but mentally, and that's why they say like you got to believe in yourself because mentally I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I feel like I've been talking a lot. But it's a podcast, so that's good.
That's what it's for. What I should say, that's what it's made for.
That's what it's made for. So I know that was a long tangent from you feeling out of place when it came to leaving the military. Yeah. But I've been drinking, and I've also been working from home, and this is my first time drinking hard liquor in a good amount of time.
Put the bottle down.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because you know, the way you touching it, I'll leave that alone for right now.
So I kind of went on a tangent, guys. Will didn't really have much to get in.
I'm glad. I was glad to let her vent. I learned a lot about her.
I did need to. I did. It's my therapy session, y'all.
Hey.
I just want to connect with the people. But honestly, like, guys, let us know if you guys have ever sabotaged your own dream. That's actually Apollo Coelho, one of my very favorite author. He did The Alchemist. Have you heard the book Alchemist?
I've heard the book The Alchemist.
It's amazing.
You that again? Were you reading that recently? Somebody was reading that.
Yeah.
Somebody was reading that at the bar.
It may have been me, but it could be somebody else too. I've read that book a million times.
I seen it up there, and I was like,
"Oh no, I didn't bring it in." So somebody else.
So somebody else was reading it. Yeah.
It's an amazing book. If you don't want to just go for it, if you're a person that goes for it, you'll see why it's a good book. But you're not gonna get the same inspiration. This is for people who like kind of are on the fence of like, should I make the move? Should I not? Should I make the move? Should I not? Alchemist is a great book. It's a fictional story, but it's also a really great story because it has so many gems in it. But I'm not going to say this verbatim because I don't remember the quote like verbatim, but Paulo Coelho does say like basically most people will sabotage their own dream. They'll get to it, they'll realize it is, and they'll sabotage their own dream. There's some more I could say about it, but I don't want to spoil the book. So
make sure I'll go check that out.
Yeah. Well, I could say this. So there's a part in the book where the main character, Santiago, he is working at a crystal shop, and it's like a crystal glass shop. And the owner of the shop has a dream, and he doesn't embark on it. And Santiago, the character, the boy, he's like, well, basically, why don't you embark on this. Why don't you go for your dream? And he's like, okay, so I go for my dream and then I achieve the dream and then what?
Right.
You know? So his idea is like, that's basically saying like a lot of people are like, yeah, I can go for my dream, but after my dream, then what do I do?
Right.
I don't have a dream after that. Like I don't have nothing to aspire to. I don't know what that's gonna, what is life after my dream?
Right.
That's wild.
What
Because
is life after your dream? What do you do after you finally fulfill it?
well, for me, I've always felt like I would have more that I want to do. So that's never been a thing for me. For me,
not for you per se.
Yeah.
This is a broad
question, yeah.
Some people, they hit that dream. And then it's like, is that their ceiling?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is that it?
Yeah.
When in that all
Do you think that's why Tom Brady went back to the NFL? Because it's like, this is all I know. This is my dream.
I don't know. Because, I mean, Tom Brady, all he knows is football. I mean, he's been in the NFL for over 20 years, if not 20 years exactly. So, what exactly else does Tom Brady know?
I don't know, but he does know about winning Super Bowls and championships because, baby, Boston going
All right, next segment.
Don't be mad because Georgia just...
Hold on, Georgia what?
Nothing. Didn't they win something the other day?
Yeah, Georgia, hey, watch out. Georgia just won our daddy 2 years. Hey, back to back. I don't want to hear nothing.
Anyways. All right.
We going to win it again.
Really quick, before we get out of here, let's go into our 86. So if you're not familiar with the term 86, it basically is eliminating an item. So in nightlife, if you ran out of French fries, you would say 86 French fries.
Yep.
So on this pod, we have a segment called 86, and basically I'm going to ask him a question. He has to 86 one or two of the answers.
Let's get it.
This one's deep because I had this conversation at the bar before.
Uh-oh.
86. You got to 86 one of these.
Okay.
Fate or free will?
What?
You have to 86 fate or you 86 free will?
Free will to do whatever. Fate is just, it's going to happen.
It was destined.
It's destiny. I feel like I'm an 86 free will.
Really? Why? Explain.
Because
Explain before we get out of here.
I mean, if something is meant to happen, it's gonna happen, and I feel like that's regardless of if you choose your free will or not.
But here's the thing about that. Here's the thing. This is why I asked this question. Do we have free will or do we have fate? Because to me, they don't coincide. People are like, okay, so like in the Bible it says every human was born with free will so that we're free to choose and live our life freely, right?
Right.
But then it'd be like, but God knew this was going to happen. That means fate. But
So
but there's no way it's the same thing because if God knew, if there's a book that's already written, that's not free will. That means you're just going by the exactly.
Now the free will part is it gonna be a straight road, or are you gonna mess up? Then you're gonna get off track, then come back. You know what I'm saying? So on and so forth. That's the free will part because I feel like fate is regardless. Fate is gonna happen. Something that is meant for you is gonna be meant for you no matter what. So with free will,
it's up to you to make the decision of your fate.
Of how quickly you get to the fate.
No, I feel like free will is you make the decision and you decide your fate. It's not just fate is just out here, just out here.
Like you said, the book is supposed to be already written. So the book is already written.
I don't believe the book is already written.
I mean,
at least I don't like to believe it. It could be. I don't know.
It could be. If the book is already written, though, that means that free will is not really free will. It's free will to a certain degree. It's free will for you to fuck up.
No.
And then get back on track.
Free will gotta be free will.
That's what I'm saying. Then in that case, there's no such thing as free will.
But you know what? I kind of do agree with that because sometimes I do. This is one thing I do believe about me or about life, not just me. I do feel like sometimes like ancestors, angels, God, universe, whoever you believe in does interfere. Because there are some times where like I'll do some fucked up shit. I'm like, why the fuck didn't I not die when I did this? Like, how the fuck am I still alive? Ain't no way that I'm still fucking alive after doing that dumb shit.
Your guardian angel.
Why the fuck?
Guardian angel. That's what I mean by fate. That's what I mean by fate.
But was that fate conducted from my free will?
Fate was not conducted.
I free and willingly decided to do the dumb decision that could have killed me, and because of that, that's where the fate comes from.
Jumped in.
So it is free will. It's not fate. There's no book that's written.
There's a book that's written, because if the book wasn't written, fate wouldn't have jumped in and said, "No, you would have died."
No, but you gotta remember what I said. Free willing.
So if you free will and jump off a building on your own, you go up there and you jump off, but you don't. And your intention is to kill yourself, but
I don't die.
That's fate saying that you're not meant to die right now. That's your guardian angel. That's whoever is saying you wasn't meant to die at this point.
But I chose that.
But you chose to jump. That's the
so
free
I
will.
chose my fate.
You chose free will.
That's free will.
But you didn't choose your fate. You didn't choose your fate.
I chose my fate.
No.
I chose my fate. Free will.
No. Free will is you saying I'm gonna jump.
Exactly. And I jumped and I almost died, but I didn't.
You didn't. That's
but I
fate.
chose that. No.
Hey, we need, not just me, we need y'all to comment below.
Free
will. Okay?
Yeah. Free will or fate.
Right. Because in this situation, if this is obviously a example, but if somebody jumps off a cliff with intentions of doing bodily harm or killing themselves,
you gotta say unaliving themselves.
Unaliving themselves.
Because
I'm sorry.
The other one is too triggering.
So if somebody jumps off a cliff and does something to try to unaliving themselves, that's free will, because you chose to do that on your own.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't pass away, is that not fate saying that it is not your time?
No.
Answer that below, please, for both of us.
Okay.
See if you, I mean, even if it's not for that, but just give us your opinion. We love y'all's opinions.
I think we love fate, but think about fate. Fate, okay, what if you're fated? Okay, say you have this big ass dream, right?
Yeah.
You want to be the biggest football player of all time or whatever. Like, you want to just, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's your dream, right?
Yeah.
But that's not how the book was written.
So that, with that being said, your free will is to play that. And this is another thing. Your free will is to play football, lift weights, be the best player you can be, always practicing, always watching film. That's free will.
You're not fated to be the next Deion Sanders, so let it go.
That's where fate jumps in. Injuries. You get a knee injury that ends your career. Your fate was not meant for you to be that great football player.
But before the fate, you made the decision to play.
That's free will.
No. Listen, you made the okay. Let's go back to when he gets injured. You make the free decision. To play that day. That was your decision to play that. You could have made the decision not to.
That's free will. Okay, free will. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Right. Yes. Free will, but then fate jumps in.
No, that wasn't fate. That was your decision to free
will.
Yes, to play.
Free will to
but
play.
It wasn't fate
during
because
the game,
what if you decided not to play?
If you decided not to play, that's also still free will. It's still
so that means free will leads to fate.
Free will does lead to fate.
Yes, but the thing is, the argument is it's either one or the other.
No,
they don't coexist.
They do coexist though. It does.
I think they do.
They do.
But I don't also, but here's the thing. For those who think there's one or the other, I don't like to believe that I don't want to live in a world where I'm not free to make my own decisions. Like it's already written for me. Cause I'm like, bitch, then you do it.
I mean, but
I'm not doing anything.
You are free to live.
You
your
figure
own
it
life.
out.
See, but like
let it play itself out. I'm not doing
though?
anything.
You know what's crazy though?
If you decided to never pay your bills again and you broke and you in debt for the rest of your life,
it's not
you're fated to be in debt and broke for the rest of your life.
I'm not saying that you're broke. I'm saying if you Nicolette, said, I'm not paying my bills no more.
Uh-huh.
You said, fuck it. Now you're in debt. Now you're homeless. That's not fate. That's you making that
That's a
decision
free
to not do
will.
it. That's
And
your free
the
will.
fate after that is I'm broke and destitute and doing strange things for cash. Ask for cash.
I think that's just straight up free will because you chose
My
not
free
to.
will would be ask for cash.
All free
that-
will. All
But
free
then
will.
fated would be
There's no fate in that.
there's something in my
There's
ass.
no free fate in that. There's something in that. Yo.
It just got too dark. I had to lighten up.
Yo, all right.
No, but dead ass, there would be
No.
something in my ass. Like,
I mean, it would.
because if I'm giving,
Yeah.
doing strange things for change, which I would never do, but.
Yo.
All right. So, yeah, that was 86. Fate or free will? I choose free will. You choose fate.
I choose both.
You can't choose both. You got an 86 an item.
I choose both.
Okay, so your restaurant going down because
My restaurant ain't going down.
because ain't no
Because
black person.
My free will.
Ain't no black person going into nobody restaurant with no wings and no fries.
My free will.
Wings or fries,
My
nigga.
free will.
Wings or fries.
My free will says that I will make sure that my shit stay top tier.
Wings or fries.
The fate is gonna be my shit.
Wings
top tier
or
because
fries.
Free will says free will. Yeah.
Okay, let's do this 86. Since he doesn't want to listen to me. Wings or fries, y'all? Are you running a restaurant where you 86 wings or you 86 fries?
You 86 and fries.
We 86 and wings. What are you talking about?
Oh my God, here we go. Another one. Yo, you're 86 and fries.
No.
You want the meat.
No.
Pause. You want the meat. Straight up.
Can we not walk into a
You
trap?
Want, yeah, it's not a trap. I'm just saying. I said pause. There ain't nothing wrong with that. You want the meat, bro. Straight
No.
up. You want the
Fries.
wings.
Everybody love fries. If you ain't got no, fuck it. Just give me some
Bro,
fries.
you in Atlanta.
It don't
You in
matter.
Atlanta. Everybody want that hot lemon pepper sprinkle, bro. Straight up.
Fries.
Everybody want the hot lemon pepper.
Yeah, but everybody don't eat meat. I'm pescatarian.
You what? You're what?
Pescatarian.
Since when?
You knew that.
Since when?
It's been 2 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
When have you ever seen me eat meat at the job?
I ain't never seen it eat meat. You right.
Yeah, it's
I'm
been 2
tell
years.
you right now though.
December 2nd, 2020 was my first day not eating meat.
Wow, exact date. That's cool. Now what we got next, man? And that was,
We're out.
That was pretty good.
We're good.
That was pretty good. Yeah, I like that one. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
So, what's your tip? We got to tip the bar now,
Hey.
so we can get out of here, and I could be outside and go eat my oysters.
All right, so I have a tip. I definitely have a tip.
What's the tip?
For me, my tip is
Not pour shots while you take.
yeah, go ahead. Pull me up. Pull me up.
What's your
Hey,
tip?
so my tip is to based off of this song.
Oh, and by the way, tip the bar means just we're giving a tip
Yeah, we're doing the tip. We're putting the tip
for
in.
those who are new.
That's what it's called. The segment is actually called putting the tip in. You feel me?
He just wanted to say that. Well, go ahead.
No, that's what it's called.
Go ahead.
Anywho, the tip that I'm putting in is
Nigga, just say the tip.
I'm trying to.
Damn.
You gotta laugh at me. Stop laughing at me. Anywho, so do not be so hard on yourself. That's just my opinion. Don't be so hard on yourself, okay?
That's a good
In
one.
your 20s, you're supposed to enjoy yourself, but also make mistakes and also get back on track. Then make more mistakes and get right back on track again. All right? I'm 31. Be 32 this year. All right? I'm not in my career field yet. However,
He's not far off.
exactly. And I'm going to make it. It's not no if, when, how long. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You got to speak positivity into your life.
Yeah.
Okay? Words mean a lot. I've learned that even saying things like I'm broke is not the way to say it. If you can't do it right now, just say I can't do it right now. That's it.
totally fine.
And that's totally okay. That is perfectly fine. You can't do it right now.
Yeah.
But not I'm broke, because then you're going to be broke.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Be happy, be positive, and move forward. Keep moving forward.
And it's okay if you're not happy every day.
And that is okay too. It's okay to be emotional. It's okay to cry. It's okay to take time to yourself. Okay?
Yeah.
Take time to yourself. And it's okay to seek counseling.
Mm-hmm.
I've I sought counseling at one point in my life.
Me too.
As a black man,
Actually, I
people-
need to go back.
not even just a black man, men period think that counseling is stupid. It's not. It's good for you. It's great for you. Seek the counseling if you need it.
Yeah,
All right?
for sure.
And that's just it for me.
I agree with everything you're saying. Tip wise, I will say that for me, comfort is a bitch. That's the tip. Understand that comfort is a bitch. Do not by any means think that because you're comfortable, it means that this is where you're supposed to be. A lot of the times that can be the case, but most times when you're uncomfortable and you're going towards your dream and going towards what you want, that means you're in the right place. Now, that doesn't mean like if you're getting taken advantage of, if you feel that. It means that what I'm trying to say is like a lot of the times, and this is just from my experience, because I was uncomfortable, I felt like, oh man, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this. But it was like, no, you're in the right place. This is just not something you're familiar with, right? But if you're being taken advantage of, it doesn't feel right. You're not going towards that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Don't go towards that if you feel like you're being taken advantage of or something doesn't feel right inside of you. But a lot of the times, you know what you're supposed to do, and comfort is right there. Say fuck you to comfort and go for the thing that feels scary. Jump off that cliff, because we wouldn't be doing this podcast right now if we didn't jump off that cliff. Hopefully I'm making sense. Hopefully I'm making sense.
We've been talking.
I'm making sense. Yo, I cannot talk. Hopefully I'm making sense, guys. I've been drinking. We have another shot lined up. We got to go. There's people knocking on the door. They ready to come in for their session. We got to go. But that's my tip. Don't let comfort fool you. It is not comfortable. It is actually more uncomfortable to be on your deathbed and realizing you didn't do all you needed to do. Hate to take it that dark, but
Be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
That right there will show who you really are.
Exactly. And not uncomfortable in sketchy situations, uncomfortable in I'm going for my dream situations. Okay. We just have to clear that up.
Let's get it.
Cheers.
Hey, man. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank y'all.
We out.
We'll see you next time on the next episode of Bar2Bar, where we bring Bronx from your favorite song to the bar and we discuss. Bye, we gotta go. They're about to kick us out.